My number one Christmas movie is Lethal Weapon.
Oh, great choice.
Yeah, it's the same thing as Die Hard in that it's set at Christmas. The atmosphere of that movie is enough for me. It's one of those movies I watch every Christmas. At Christmas, I don't necessarily feel the need to watch Christmas movies.
Yeah.
But there are certain movies that at that time of year I will actually
Can we just
enjoy.
put out a wee thank you to Shane Black for setting so many of his films at Christmas?
Yeah.
I always love that.
A lot of his movies will make that list.
Iron Man 3, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. His new one, The Nice Guys, the trailer was fantastic, but at the minute it doesn't look like it's set at Christmas. But let's fingers crossed.
We can hold out hope. It may be set at Christmas, we don't know. Although it's coming out in July, so I highly doubt it's going to be set at Christmas.
I can't wait for it, it looks incredible.
Christmas movie in July. Yeah.
So, back to Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. Again, it's just the atmosphere of that movie. It takes place at Christmas. It birthed that kind of buddy cop genre.
It has one of the most touching Christmas gifts I've ever seen in any movie, where when Riggs gives Murtaugh the bullet he was going to blow his brains out with.
Yeah.
Genuinely, it was a lovely sign of how much like his family had taken him in, and how big a kind of change he'd made as a character, that he was able to go, I don't need this anymore.
You and I were talking about this with Louis earlier as well. You could make a very good point that it's the darkest of all the movies in that franchise. Incidentally, I love all the Lethal Weapon movies. Yeah. I think 4 is a great addition. And I don't think it gets the credit it deserves. But 1 is easily the darkest, and the exploration of like Riggs' character is extremely kind of dark, and you were mentioning that whole thing
I love the way they managed to bring that back with 2 though.
Yeah.
I think that's why 1 and 2 are my favourites, because they are the darkest films.
Right.
And with 2 was originally meant to end with Riggs dying, actually.
That's right,
which like I remember when I was a kid and I first saw it, I literally thought he was dead.
Yeah,
and,
me too. Yeah.
But again, I'm kind of glad that the franchise kind of went on. I would not say no to Die Hard 5.
A Lethal Weapon 5?
Lethal Weapon 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't say no to Lethal Weapon 5.
Yeah.
I would love it to happen.
Yep.
What is your number one Christmas movie, Aidan?
My number one Christmas movie? Home Alone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be Kevin McAllister, and it's tied up with so many good memories of Christmas for me.
Definitely, yeah.
It has always been a Christmas film. Do you know it's a national staple in Poland?
Oh, really?
Home Alone is screened in Poland every year at Christmas.
That's awesome.
And apparently it's the most watched thing on Polish TV every year.
Well, that's not surprising. I mean, Home Alone is one of my favourite Christmas movies as well. It's not in this list because I don't think we could have had that much of a crossover, but it would be one of my favourite Christmas movies as well.
One of the things I only found recently was John Hughes, who wrote the film. It was directed by Chris Columbus, who did Home Alone 2, and he also did the Harry Potter films. But originally, the whole subplot of his neighbour was added to the film because Christopher Columbus kind of said there wasn't enough heart in the film, and he wanted that little lesson about family to be in it.
I love that subplot. I love that story. I didn't know that.
I think it really does add something to the whole film. I don't think the film would be as special or as heartfelt as it is without it. But it's interesting, Christopher Columbus is a director. His later stuff's kind of fallen down because it's had too much sentimentality in it.
Right.
But I think like Home Alone hits the perfect balance of sentimentality and just Joe Pesci being a terrifying, scary person.
Yeah, I know. It's weird that Joe Pesci of Goodfellas has made his way into so many people's Christmas traditions. But I mean, that's the thing is...
I love the urban legend that apparently... Joe Pesci's just swearing the whole way through the film, and they had to dub around it.
Fridge and fudge, yeah. The thing that I really love about Home Alone is if you think about it nowadays, I don't know that Home Alone's a movie you would get away with nowadays. You wouldn't get away with it on the level that they did because it's a dark movie. The premise is pretty dark. It's two guys with crowbars robbing the home of
but it's fine because the kid's
it's fine because it's so sweet and so heartfelt, and that's why it works.
And I had a talk boy when I was a kid, actually.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it was
Well, actually, that's another movie we can talk about where the argument could be made that there is a sequel that is as good, if not better, than the original.
Oh, completely. I can't separate them in my head.
No, I live in a house with people who prefer the second one too.
Good house to live in.
Yeah.
But for me, that started my lifelong love of New York, actually. It's just seeing that thing. I'd love to go to New York at Christmas.
I think the second one is actually an example of one of those sequels that went bigger and didn't suffer.
No.
You know what I mean? It went from the suburbs of Chicago to New York, and it still worked on such a great level. It kept that whole,
like, for kids watching it, like, it kept that whole childish joy in things, where like the joy of like being able to do whatever you wanted whenever you wanted. Like in the first one came from being able to do his own shopping, make his own dinner, which was a healthy and nutritious meal, to the second film, which is being order room service, and you see all that ice cream.
It's
just, you know, it really
it's one of those things that a lot of sequels nowadays do too much, and I think it takes me out of them. It's callbacks to what made the first one great. I don't like seeing that in sequels. I mean, The Hangover 2 just replicated the formula of the first one and is filled with throwbacks. Home Alone 2 did it in a really smart way, where he's ordering the food in and you can see all the correlations and stuff, and it really worked.
And
I
then
love
of course
that movie.
the wet bandits become the sticky
The
bandits.
Sticky Bandits,
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
right.
the evolution of those characters
It's
from film
genius.
to film.
Absolutely wonderful.
And I'd love to actually see what the audience think. What are some of your favourite Christmas movies?
Absolutely.
And let us know.
Yeah, be sure to let us know Twitter/IntermissionWeb and on Facebook. Before we wrap this up, any honourable mentions? Any movies that maybe didn't make your top 3 but that you would love to...
Tangerine. It was a very, very good, very offbeat Christmas movie about two transgender women, one of which is just fresh out of prison, going across LA to find her cheating boyfriend. It was great. It was really, really funny. And other favourite Christmas movies... Trying to think.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. I go to see that every year, and it's fantastic.
I love that movie. Elf. I know you haven't seen Elf.
No.
Elf is one of those movies that, I mean, this is a controversial opinion. I know everyone loves Anchorman, but I never understood
You never got
the
it?
humor in it. I never really got Anchorman. I got Anchorman 2 a lot. I know that's bizarre, but I really did get Anchorman 2. Elf, I adore. Elf is one of those movies that everyone adores because it is just so funny.
I think I'll have to go to the cinema to see that
Every
one.
time you watch Elf, it is just as funny. The Santa Claus, that franchise with Tim Allen, I know it kind of, a lot of people felt it dwindled as it went on. I love those movies.
I think
they'd be
Diner would be, I think both of us, we
I
would
watched,
love it.
yeah, Diner's
If
big.
you've never seen, Diner's an incredible movie, and Diner used overlapping dialogue in a way that had never been done in a film before.
Yeah.
And it really, I think you might take it almost for granted now, but it's just, the casting and the script is incredible in that movie. You've got Mickey Rourke as his absolute coolest. You've got Kevin Bacon.
Steve Guttenberg.
Steve
Kevin
Guttenberg.
Bacon, I forgot Kevin Bacon was
Daniel
in that movie.
Stern.
Daniel
from
Stern of Home Alone fame.
Yes,
It all comes, see what we did there? It all comes full circle. Diner is one of, I think, the greatest coming-of-age movies of all time. I would put it up there with Stand By Me and everything else.
And Ellen Barkin at her absolute
Best.
Yes.
Yes, there you
Yes.
go. So yeah, that's an example. There are some of our favourite Christmas movies. Be sure to get in touch and let us know what you think. But most importantly, have a happy Christmas.
And more importantly, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.